Hey, what's going on, guys? Another knife review. This one is a cool custom friction folder, and I was teasing you guys with this with a cut demo I did, and it was the mystery knife for a while, but now you're going to know exactly who made it, and you get to hear my opinions on it. This is a knife by Justin, SRGKnives. All right, I've actually reviewed he had a small Tanto fixed blade that was super cool. I reviewed that a while ago, and he asked me if I wanted to try out another knife. I said, yeah, sure. And so he sent it for review. And I've been using it a lot. And I don't really carry friction folders very often. But this one I did EDC for a little while, and I really liked it. He did with this knife. I mean, first of all, just the fit and finish, it's extremely, extremely smooth. Okay? Extremely smooth. And all the beveling around the frame here, very well done. It's just very well finished. All right? Now, when I first got it, the first thing that jumped out at me is that pocket clip. I thought, ugh. Honestly, that's what I thought, is why? Why is that there? That's ugly. I really, really thought that was ugly until I started carrying it and using it, and I realized that it is absolutely in the perfect position. It is a carbon fiber clip, all right, very nicely molded. It works very, very well. But in the position that it's on, with obviously tip down, when this is in the pocket like this, it lets the exposed tang, it's obviously sticking up, the spine of that blade that you're going to use to open the knife, to rest on the inside of the seam on your pocket, okay? Any other position, it would just be uncomfortable, it would poke you. So I completely understand the placement. If anything, it's absolutely perfect, okay? It's not randomly. When I first looked at it, I went, you know, it just landed randomly kind of slapping on there, but I completely understand the perspective of a usable knife. If you weren't using this knife, I might have preferred it maybe over here, you know, or who knows, maybe a tip up type thing. But with these friction folders, you have that exposed tang. It's awkward to have it in any other position in your pocket. It just gets in the way, or it pokes your leg when you sit down. It's extremely uncomfortable. So I completely understand the placement of this clip after using the knife. And again, this is the difference between looking at a picture and not understanding something, as opposed to using a knife and going, oh, duh, okay, I get it. And that's what happened with this. Playing with it, I went, you know, why? Why is it there, man? And then I actually used the thing and I went, oh, duh. So anyway, overall, the knife is pretty cool looking. I really like the blade. Handle shape, not my favorite looking blade overall. I really like the blade. The blade, I think, is pretty sexy. Nice grind lines, which are pretty damn even, I might say. But, you know, just looking at the handle, it doesn't do a whole lot for me. I do actually like this bird beak type thing. I've always liked that. I like the Texas toothpicks. You guys know I like that part of it. But up here, it just seems a little plain. You know, nothing really to write home about as far as design. It's not extreme, but it's extremely comfortable. Really, really comfortable. Okay, this whole curvature here rests in the palm very nicely. Slight finger choil. All right, just feels really good in the hand. The one critique I was going to make when I first started using this knife was that this exposed tang is a little bit short. You know, in friction folders, you'll see anywhere, you know, from about that length on up, okay? And a lot of times there's a lot sticking up. And this is kind of a double-edged sword in that you want to have a long enough tang to basically be in the frame when you're holding the knife. That's what's preventing this blade from riding forward. If you happen to, by chance, you know, had some pressure on the spine, you don't want it closing on you, obviously. So you need something in the frame here so that your grip keeps that blade sturdy. Okay, that's the whole point of a friction folder. It's a non-locking knife, but it's not a slip joint or anything. It's just sitting there. The only thing keeping it in the open position is your grip. Okay, so I would have liked this to be a little longer, but at the same time, I don't want a really long tang sticking out. You know, I don't want this to be that long. It's just really uncomfortable in the pocket, and it's just poking around. It's just, I don't like it. So that was really, you know, at first it was a critique, but you know, after a while, I kind of thought, well, I kind of like it smaller. So it's something that kind of grew on me. And, you know, when you're using these, most of the pressure is towards the cutting edge. Obviously, it's not towards the spine. If you're, you know, swing around and whacking on something, yeah, it could close on you. You know, how often does that really happen to you guys? You know? And when I was using this knife, it never happened to me once. All right, so some specs on this knife. The handle on here is full titanium, okay, 0.137 inches. This is sandblasted and stone washed. Okay, so that's the finish we have on this. Our blade here is an N690. Very nicely done. I mean, I like those fine grind marks on there. I like the way the grind looks. Super sexy, super sharp. All right, a little bit leaner towards the tip there. As you can see, that grind flattens out just a little bit. Okay, or bevel rather. Just really, really nice done blade. All right, we have a nice rounded spine on this, perfectly executed. I mean, just the blade alone looks like it could be something off of a $700-800 folder. And by the way, he's charging about $300 for these. It really just depends on what altercations you make. You know, if you want the handle different, or if you want certain materials or whatever, certain blade steels. That's of course custom knives. It's always up for change. It just depends on what you want. You have to talk to the maker, and then they'll give you an estimate, or a quote for a price. A nice fine little detail on this knife he did was these collars for the pivot. Really, really nice touch. Right, so we have carbon fiber ring that's around, and it's on both sides, as you can see, around those screw heads. Perfectly smoothed out, very nicely finished. The screw heads themselves are nicely polished up, as well as the backs. Torx on the clip, it is removable. The whole knife is able to be taken down completely apart. It's something you don't often see on a lot of the different friction folders. Of course, there's people who do it, but sometimes they are pinned together. This is fully adjustable, and you can take the whole thing apart if you want. Again, Torx screws for the frame here, which goes through that carbon fiber back spacer. So it is a partially opened frame. Just really, really nicely done. But if you want to take this down fully for cleaning, you can, which is a really nice touch. The blade length is 3.5 inches, and the thickness is 0.123 inches. All right. The performance on this N690 was really good. I did have to touch up just a little bit. I basically just stropped it up. It came with a razor hair popping edge, and I lost that super razor blade feel after probably, I don't know, maybe a week of EDCing it. And so I just stropped it up a little bit. I'm used to stropping knives every day after I use them, but when I'm testing a bunch of knives, sometimes I'll forget. So all of a sudden, it was still cutting fine, but I realized that it knocked off that little extra, wow, that sharp factor. And so I stropped it up, and it stropped up just fine to that original edge, which is really, really nice. So great performer, good cutter. And this is probably the first friction folder that I actually carried for a long duration of time. And I say a long duration of time, it was probably maybe 4 weeks. 4 weeks of full everyday EDC carry on this one, and some little testing here and there. Most times, because I'm testing so many different knives at once, I'll actually EDC a knife for about a month or so, but I'll go out of my way to cut things with it purposefully, because sometimes I'm not cutting everything every single day. So I do have to go out of my way to do some different performance tests on just some cardboard, and most times it's me just making my garbage smaller so it's easier to throw out. But performed very nicely. That smaller exposed tang really didn't have any issues with it closing or anything. Like I said, I never bumped the back of that spine, so no issues with it. I would maybe like to see it slightly longer, but again, as I said before, it's kind of a toss-up. It's a fight between, how much do I want this thing sticking up to how much do I want it to be secure in my hand. I think how it is, it's pretty damn secure. I don't think you have to worry about it too much. But, congratulations, Justin. You did an awesome job on this piece. I think your little fixed blade was very, very cool, but I know going into friction folders, it's a whole different thing, and you just really executed it well. I'm very, very excited to see what you come out with in the future. The design overall, maybe not my favorite design, but I have to say, perfectly executed. I've literally held and used $500 or $600 knives that I thought looked cooler, but didn't have the same level of quality that this has. Okay, as an amateur knife maker, I really think that you are excelling dramatically. The quality here is extremely high, and it was a pleasure to use. It is a really, really nice knife. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the review. Justin, thank you for sending the knife so I can check it out and test it out and review it. It is sweet. It is a really cool one. If you guys want to check out Justin's stuff, he has videos on his other knives, and he has a YouTube channel. I'll put the link in the description box, and you can always ask him for a quote on a knife if you have a specific design, or if you want something very similar to this, you can talk to him about it. But that's it for me. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you have a great day, and I will see you soon. Take care.